Okay, I'm going to do a video on the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522 magazine. This is for that rifle that I done a review on not too long ago. This is one fine gun. Just letting you show which rifle I'm talking about. It's a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. Now I had a viewer say they had just bought one of these and it's their first gun ever. And they were saying they had a problem with not locking back on the last round, and in particular he was having jams, or they were having jams. I guess that would be, I'm assuming it would be failure to feed would be the jam. Now these magazines are fine magazines. I mean, I don't think he asked if there's a problem with the gun. I don't think it's a problem with the gun, because he was fortunate enough, or they were fortunate enough, the person right next to him had the same rifle and they had no problems. So I'm not saying every one would be perfect, but these guns are they're just very good quality, and I doubt if it's a gun. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It'd have to be something really bad with the feed ramp. But most of your problems with feeding in a quality gun is a magazine. And now sometimes you got an old magazine, got weak springs, but these brand new ones, you should not have any problem with that. So I'm thinking what their problem is the way you load them. Now I've seen people load these, I'm not going to say a wrong way, but it doesn't work as reliable as the other way. What they do, these are spring assisted. So what you can do, you can take that spring and pull it down all the way to the bottom. So what you're supposed to do with these to load them properly, if you take and pull that all the way to the bottom and then you put your rounds in, they're not going to land right down through here. And then when you let go on the spring, the tension, they're not right. They got to be like, they're offset a little bit. I'll show you when I get done. But inside there, they're like this and this and this and this and this and this all the way down, and that way they feed right. And if you get two that are stacked on top of each other, that's where you get a failure to feed. And I've done that. It's happened to me before I realized what the problem was, and I was able to pay attention. I have loaded these before and noticed they're not loading right, and unload them and redo it again. But what you do is you take and pull that spring down just to release the tension, and put one in and put another one in. You don't want to pull it too far down, just enough to take the tension off, and put that round in there. Now I'm going to load this up until it shows in the follower, shows it down in the sight. You can see it in the sights here. But you just keep pull the spring down, each one, let go of it, pull it down, let go of it, just to take the tension off so it doesn't hurt your fingers trying to load these up, because you got 25 rounds of tiny ammunition going down through there, and it can be rough on your fingers. So you just pull it down, take off the tension, and just keep doing that. Now I'll go ahead and show you what you got to do. It'll show the bullets in there, the bullet part of it. Okay, they're loading right. That looks good. Okay, now if you'll notice, if I can get this just right, how those rounds, the nose of that is setting offset from the next one. And then that's the way they should load up. And that way you don't, when it's their turn to go into the chamber, they will be oriented right. They'll be picked up and pushed in. For some reason, if they're sitting on top of the other and they get out of sequence, that's where you'll have a jam. I've done it. I know where it was at till I figured out what was wrong, and then I started paying attention to it. But those bullets, the bullet part in there is what you'll see. I hope that transfers where you can see it. They're offset from each other. Each one is offset from the other one. So as you load this, you just watch it. When they get coming out there, you just watch them as it gets doing. But if you keep doing that right there, you just don't pull too far and just keep putting it rounds in there, they will come out right and you won't have any problem. Now everybody's going to have a failure to feed or failure to eject if you shoot hundreds and hundreds of rounds like I do. But this one here, I can count it one time. I've had a problem. And I fired, these are Winchester M22. And I fired the CCI. And so far that's all I've fired. But these guns are known to just take just about any brand that you put through them. They're just really fine guns. I love it. I'll probably take it out the next time I go now that I've had it out talking about it. But if you look in there, and you'll notice that the rounds are back and forth offset. That's the way you load them, and you won't have any problem. Very seldom will you have any problem. I can't guarantee you'll never have any problem with it. It's usually, that's the way it is right there. That's what happens, is people will pull this all the way down like that and then just drop all them rounds in there. And then when you're done, they're not sitting right. And you'll get a failure to feed out of it. And they're also talking about that the last round is not holding the, it's not locking open like that right there. And I don't know if that's got something to do with it or not, but I think it does, because if that last round is not sitting right and the follower doesn't come up fast enough after you fire, it won't actuate that catch. And because that's what tells the catch the boat, is that follower will come up and hit, and then it will kick that latch, and then it will lock it open. That's Smith & Wesson's the only ones that'll do that. They have the patent on it. But he was lucky enough to have somebody next to him never had a problem. So I'm just saying, the most likelihood is that those rounds are not sitting right in that magazine. If you get them set in there where they're back and forth like that, you can see that they got to sit. That's how they got to sit right there. If they're stacked on top of each other, they're not going to sit right. You're going to have a space there that's not right. But I hope he sees this again. I hope it helps him, because the first time shooter is his first gun, and I feel like maybe he bought it because one of the reasons is because how much I advertised it. But that's why I'm trying to help out here. So just try that, and if that doesn't work, you can always send it back to Smith & Wesson. You can call them, and they'll send you an RMA return. Or we call it an RA or some return address. It's free shipping. Ship it back to them, they'll check it over. There's a problem, they'll fix it, and they'll ship it back to you, and it's no cost. Very excellent. I've done it several times on a gun I had a problem with, a pistol. So I hope that helps, and y'all have fun shooting your gun. I know I am. Have a good evening.